everybody, welcome to the Teacher and Student Sharing webinar for PlanBook Plus. My name is Ruth and I'm here with my colleague Tabitha.
Hello everyone.
And we are excited to help you plan your lessons using PlanBook Plus. Today we are going to take about 20 minutes and that will include a short question and answer session at the end of the demonstration. Our goal today is to make sure you feel comfortable with the site to start planning on your own. Before we begin, I want to go over the webinar panel and some details. We have placed you in listeners mode upon entry into the webinar. This is going to avoid any background noise that might occur. And the webinar site consists of two panels. You will see our share panel and a chat panel. You may use the moderated chat panel to ask questions at any point during the presentation. We will either answer your question there or we'll let you know that it's going to be addressed later in the conversation. Now let's go over the agenda for today's webinar. Today we're going to discuss what puts the plus in PlanBook Plus. Then we're going to show you how to customize your design template to maximize your student sharing. We're going to go into the system a little bit further and look at our teacher sharing and our student sharing portion of the system. And remember, that's available to our advanced planner users. Then we're going to talk about some future enhancements and user feedback that we appreciate from our users. And we'll have a short question and answer. Now, what puts the plus in PlanBook Plus? PlanBook Plus is a full-featured online lesson planner. It was designed by educators, and it's going to allow you to map your lessons to preloaded state standards, as well as add activities and resources to your lessons. We have a completely customizable lesson plan template. You can use our default template, or you can create your own elements using our custom element designer. We also provide you multiple views to allow for a more individualized planning experience. The calendar view is going to allow you to add lessons to your daily view and also use it as a guide throughout your school day. The timeline view is unique to PlanBook Plus and is a quick and easy way to scope and sequence your course for long-term planning. The weekly planner is going to give you weekly plans at a glance to view and edit on one page. Now we are going to get into the site to show you the teacher and student sharing. We are going to start at the Customize Element Design tab to customize our elements and choose which elements are shown to our students when we share our plan books. This designer is also accessible from the other views that display the elements. You can edit existing elements by clicking the pencil icon next to each element. Each element has a student sharing option, and you can choose to always, never, or choose when to release that item to the students. Adding new elements is easy at the bottom of the screen by just naming that element and selecting the element type and choosing the sharing type. If you create an element design in one plan book, you can also reuse that and append it into another plan book at the bottom. The last tab in your settings is going to be for teacher sharing. Teacher sharing is a recent feature that was added to PlanBook Plus. And if you know other teachers using PlanBook Plus, you can share your plan books and lessons with each other. When you enter the Teacher Sharing tab, you will see a list of all teachers that plan book is currently shared with. You can share with another user by inputting their email address and clicking on Check User. Check User is going to verify that they have an account with us on PlanBook Plus. Once we verify the user's email, you'll see a check mark and then you can share that plan book. Now that you have seen how to share one of your plan books, let's take a look at how you can access a plan book that was shared with you. To access a shared plan book, you will need to go to the Plan Book search page. That is accessible from either your My Plan Books menu or from the PlanBook Plus logo in the left-hand corner. That's going to take you to your PlanBook search page. You're going to select to see the Plan Books Shared with Me, and that will display all the plan books that have been shared with you. From there, you can view that plan book or you can copy it, and you can use any of the views for that plan book, the timeline, the weekly planner, or the calendar view. If you want to copy a whole plan book, you will use the copy icon listed under the actions. If you only want to copy a part of that plan book, you're going to go to that plan book in the timeline view using the timeline link in the actions menu. From the timeline, you can select a unit or lesson to copy. If you need to copy multiple lessons in a unit, you'll want to select the entire unit for copying, because when you enter your copy wizard, you'll be able to select those individual lessons from there. Once you have your item highlighted, you can click the copy button above the timeline. When you click copy, you'll come to the Planbook Copy Wizard. There are a few easy steps to copy, and then you can begin editing your new lessons. You will see the source listed, and in that area you can choose the items that you want to copy. Then you'll select your destination plan book and the location of the new lessons. So you'll choose the position, either below or sub-item, which is going to be similar to what you saw on timeline. You'll select to highlight the location and then choose below or sub-item if you want to put those items inside of an existing unit. The next step will give you a preview of the newly designed plan book. You can see in blue the new lessons have been added to your plan book, and they should be located in the position that you selected. If everything looks good, you can click Next to move on to the next step. If you need to adjust that position, you can click Previous and select a new position and preview again. Every plan book will look and feel different. They may have different elements based on who created it. Planbook Plus will give you the opportunity to map the new elements from your shared plan book to your existing elements in your destination plan book. If the name matches, we're going to give you the suggestion of matching that to an existing element. If there is no match, you'll have a few options to choose from. You can choose an existing element from your design to map it to. And if there is nothing that matches your design, then you can append that element to your design, or you can choose to ignore that element and not copy the information. So for this example, we have goals and objectives in our shared plan book, and in my plan book, I call that element objectives. So I'm going to map that to my objectives. Once you have mapped all your elements, you can click Finish and Copy. That will take you back to your timeline where you can go to your newly designed plan book with your new lessons in it. Now Tabitha is going to go through and show you how to share your plan books with your students.
Ruth went over the different settings you can set for your students to see specific elements in your plan book. I am going to quickly go over the different icons you'll see in the calendar view once you have set those settings. If you have an element that you want your students to always see, you will notice an icon that is grayed out with a check mark next to it. This means your students will always be able to see this element. If you have an element that you want to choose if you want your students to see it or not, depending on the situation, you will notice the same icon, only now you will be able to check and uncheck, giving you the option to allow your students to view this element or not. The choice setting gives you the most flexibility. If you have selected to never show an element to your students, you will not see an icon next to that element, indicating this will never show for students. For example, my assessment will never show for my students. Files, standards, and websites will always default to the choice option, which will allow you to choose if you want your students to see these or not. Now that we have set everything that we want to share with our students, let's go over on how to give students access to the student view mode. To give student access, click on the My Plan Books button and select Student Sharing. This will bring you to our Plan Book Sharing links page. Begin by giving your link a name. If you want your students to enter a password on entry, you would type that password here. Then select the plan books you want to share with your students. Once you are done, click the plus button to create the link. Now that you have created a link, you can distribute this link to students or parents so they know exactly what's going on in your classroom. This link can be posted on a teacher website, emailed, printed on a syllabus, or any other form of communication you have with your parents and students. Let's take a look at what students see. I'm going to copy and paste this link in a new tab. This link gives your students access to your plan book, which will only allow them to view the elements you want them to see. This is especially great for keeping those students who are absent or parents up to date on what's going on in the classroom the day that they are out. Students do not have access to edit your plan book. They can just view what you allow them to see. You can always remove access from your students by deleting the link. Please note, once a link is removed, the same link will never be recreated. You will need to distribute a new link to students and parents. Student and teacher sharing is one of our new features in PlanBook Plus. We hope it allows you to plan more efficiently and keep your students up to date with everything that goes on in your classroom. This wraps up the demonstration portion of this webinar. We are now going to go over a few enhancements that are coming to PlanBook Plus, followed by any questions that you may have for us.
We are really excited about some upcoming features we are developing for PlanBook Plus. These features will be coming out in the next few months. But we also want to hear from you. Our system was designed by educators, but we look for feedback from our users for upcoming enhancements. Please contact one of our support team members to let us know what you would like to see in PlanBook Plus. That wraps up the presentation for today. What we're going to do is open up our moderated chat for question and answer. If you have any questions, please feel free to chat us in the chat box. Thank you for participating in our PlanBook Plus webinar. We know you'll enjoy your experience with PlanBook Plus. We can be reached for support at our email address, our web address, support.planbookplus.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you, everybody, and we'll hang around for some questions if you have any.